What do you think attracted a 24-year-old to a 14-year-old inexperienced? Or am I telling you just as I say that? Is that what attracted him to you?
The inexperienced, yes. Thought, well, I'll just be with someone and teach her.
From her feeling like she needed to change to please him, to the pain of losing their daughter and finding out about his death from the news, here's a recap of Priscilla and Elvis' turbulent story through the years. The beginning. During an interview for Today in 2017, Priscilla shared her first memories of Elvis. It started out really with his voice. She said, "People loved his voice. When he sang, it was like he was singing to you. He wasn't bad to look at either. Everyone had a crush on him. They're still having crushes on him. He was truly beautiful. He woke up beautiful. I used to stare at him. I used to look at him and go, oh my gosh."
We'd go out to our stables and early in the morning after the movies and just talk, and it's probably one of my favorite times. I can visualize him walking down these stairs. There's so many things that I look at and I go, wow, and it takes me right to those moments. And it's sad many times.
The couple met in 1959 when she was in high school. Their story began before they even met. He was already a rock star, and she was an 11-year-old who listened to his first record at an Air Force base in Texas. 3 years later and 5,500 miles away, I would meet him, Priscilla wrote for People in 1985. They finally met at a party in West Germany in 1959. Priscilla's stepfather was a part of the Air Force and got transferred to the base there when Elvis was serving in the Army.
I really didn't have the teenage years. I learned so much about him and was with him so much that I thought the way he did. I knew what he liked, what he didn't like. I knew his thoughts. I knew everything as far as you couldn't possibly do when you live together at such a young age.
The age gap. Their age gap was really pronounced. This is something Priscilla also talked about in her essay. When we met, I was an impressionable 14-year-old. He was 24, she claimed. She also shared that when he found out she was in 9th grade, he responded, "Why, you're just a baby." She also wrote, "I found myself deeply involved with Elvis. School became a chore. I kept telling myself that I would do better, that I'd catch up. But my concentration was totally on Elvis." She also claimed that Elvis molded her into be the right girl. He liked soft-spoken brunettes with blue eyes and said that Priscilla fit this image perfectly. Something in his Southern upbringing had taught him that the right girl was to be saved for marriage. "I was that girl. At the same time, he molded me into his woman. I wore the clothes, hairstyle, and makeup of his careful choosing," she continued. His introduction to her parents. After 4 dates, Priscilla's parents asked to meet the singer. According to her, the encounter between them ended up with their parents being delighted by him. "You have women throwing themselves at you. Why my daughter?" She remembered her stepfather asking. Elvis replied, "I happen to be very fond of her. She's a lot more mature than her age, and I enjoy her company. You don't have to worry about her, Captain. I'll take good care of her." My parents became confused and bewildered by our relationship. We tried to make them believe that it was proper and platonic, and they wanted to believe me, she wrote. Whenever they tried to stop us from seeing each other, I pleaded and cried and made them and myself miserable. In retrospect, I don't think anything could have stopped me from seeing Elvis. The marriage. The couple got married in Las Vegas in 1967. The ceremony only lasted 8 minutes. One day he showed me the ring and simply asked me to marry him. Even though we were perfectly content the way we were, at that time it wasn't nice for people to live together. The first breakup. Elvis split from Priscilla while she was pregnant with Lisa Marie, who was born 9 months after their wedding. According to Priscilla, his reason for leaving her was that he was going through some things. She recalled that conversation in a 1985 as told to essay, published by Orlando Sentinel. "I don't think Elvis really intended to leave me. It wasn't his style," she said. "I later realized he too had questions about how a baby would affect his life. Would his public accept him as a father? He wasn't even sure whether his fans had adapted to his becoming a husband. How loyal would they be?" Their relationship after having her daughter. After the birth of Lisa Marie, Elvis and Priscilla reportedly stopped being intimate. Priscilla told Walters that she thought he struggled to change his perception of her as a little girl with her as a mother. Priscilla also wrote in her 1985 autobiography, Elvis and Me, that he told her that he had never been able to make love to a woman who had a child. I was beginning to doubt my own sexuality as a woman. My physical and emotional needs were unfulfilled. Priscilla leaves Elvis. She broke up with him in 1972. She told Walters that she had to take responsibility for herself and that she found Priscilla by leaving Elvis. She started her acting career on the show Dallas.
You lived his life. You honestly didn't have your own life. You lived his life. You saw the movies he wanted to see. You listened to the music he listened to. You go to places that he would go. So you really kind of lost yourself.
Later, in 2018, she told Mike Ammer on Australia's Sunday Night that Elvis had been unfaithful to her when they were married.
As much as he wanted to be married and have a family, I don't know if he was ever cut to be married, because I don't think he could ever be faithful to one woman.
Elvis Death. Even though their relationship didn't work out, they always stayed close as friends. But Priscilla was shocked by Elvis' death. The singer died in 1977 from a heart attack at 42. Priscilla found out watching the news. Thanks for watching. Are you going to see the film?